This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
Money, get away. You get a good job with more pay and you're okay.
And welcome back to Boomer Life on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton, joined by JimDoyle, Senior Financial Consultant with Investors Group. And on Boomer Life today, we're talking about your financial future. A well-thought-out plan for your financial future is an integral part of building the life that you want for both yourself and for your family. And over the past couple of shows, Jim, it's pretty clear to me that not only do you emphasize the importance of improved financial literacy for all ages, but that you very strongly believe in growing your own financial literacy and knowledge in order to be able to add value to what it is that you bring to the table.
The bookshelves in my office are crammed with financial titles explaining how to save for retirement, ensure that money lasts a lifetime, use strategies to protect the nest egg from devastating healthcare costs, and of course retire wealthy. But lately, I've noticed a subtle shift in subject matters, expounding not how people should spend their hard-earned money in retirement, but how they should spend their time.
I think you're going to share a good example with us now. I understand you spent a little bit of your time doing market research. You're just back from a cruise, aren't you?
Yeah, I just returned from a cruise to Mexico with a group of dentists. And invariably, as conversations do over dinner, people spoke of their retirement plans and what they wanted to do. A few of the couples shared their perspectives on what they thought retirement would look like. And of course, some of the veteran retirees shared their stories as well. They devoted their days to perfecting their strokes on the courts and on the greens, lounging by the pool, and working out at the gym. They spent their evenings sharing jokes and tales of recent travels over dinner and cocktails with neighbors. They didn't seem to need any guidebooks telling them how to spend their time in retirement. Having that feeling of being financially secure, built on company pensions, wise investments, and profitable home sales, allowed them to forget about money and just have fun. I enjoy conversations with clients who marvel that their nest egg is bigger today than when they first retired 15 years ago, despite the carnage of the Great Recession and the annual withdrawals that they use to fund their cherished lifestyles. We can all enjoy what we do if we have a plan to use our time.
I get a sense that what we call retirement, or the way we look at retirement, is changing. Not only in terms of just how we might be viewing and enjoying retirement from a money and investment perspective, but what is also emerging is the importance of planning how we might use our time once we actually get there.
I'd like to believe that with increased longevity, less physically taxing careers, and the need for continued sources of income, there will be a desire to create a new model of retirement. There seems to be an appetite for a more fulfilling retirement with new experiences. It's been suggested that boomers are more likely to seek a sabbatical from their primary careers before they figure out what they want to do next. I think for a number of retirees, the definition of what it means to be retired is changing. Today we're seeing a larger number of retirees choosing to work in retirement, with some setting up a home office and honing existing skills to launch a business or fulfill periodic consulting contracts, holding some appeal, at least in the early stages of retirement that could last for at least 20 or 30 more years. Doing what a person loves and getting paid for it, what could be sweeter? Now, golf is not a retirement plan, but it can sure be a part of it. After all, how much golf can a person endure? Okay, I kid.
You'd get argument there.
But after spending the first several months of retirement, tackling home improvement projects and saving this newfound freedom, what's next?
Jim, before the break, we were talking about why it's so important for couples to start their conversations early in life about retirement and what it looks like, and to build on that as time goes by. We also heard about tools and tips for building your children's money skills. And now that we've started the kids on the right path for a solid financial footing, what's one thing that people can do that might improve their financial situation?
And here's the catch. If I watch the Business News Network and all they talk about is grease or where they think the price of oil is headed, it's pretty hard not to place too much emphasis on second-guessing your investment choices. Every week it seems there's a new economic event, political strife, currency issue, or something that we're concerned about. This, unfortunately, does not help when it comes to creating a long-term financial plan that you can stick with. I want to help people feel more in control and confident they're making the right financial choices by helping them to put issues in context to their financial situation.
There are so many investment choices that you need to explore and understand, with so many different decisions related to those choices that we need to get right. It's understandable that people experience a little bit of anxiety or discomfort or distress when it comes to actual investing decisions.
I was looking for a guide to financial terms because if you're going to talk about a subject, it's probably important that an investor understand what the terms mean. So where did I go? I went to the internet. Imagine my joy when I discovered a layman's guide to financial terms. It's 101 pages long. I can see why a lot of people might not be as confident as they want to be if it's going to be a challenge to even understand the terms that are being used.
Every professional industry has its own jargon, even here at the radio station. So I can really appreciate how combining jargon with strategy could be quite a task for some people.
When it comes to making and understanding investment decisions, being able to see both sides of a choice or an issue, even if it pains you, is important in all aspects of life, but especially in the markets, where some say even intelligent people often get it wrong. When it comes to investments, I think we need to look at the ways people normally make their decisions. After looking at all the available choices and considering the potential outcomes and ranking the consequences, people choose the investments they feel most comfortable with. At this point, it's important to know what you don't know.
Yes, I'd have to agree that most people probably feel the same. It's behavior, isn't it?
I think it's important to look at the experiences that help us shape our view of money and investments. Financial advisors need to frame investment decisions in a way that will increase the likelihood that you're going to stick with your plans even when markets fluctuate. In my practice, clients suffer from decisions that hurt portfolio performance, including trading too much or selling winners and losers too early. By framing an investment goal around a spending item in the future, we're more likely to appeal to their natural hardwiring.
We hear that a major determinant in people becoming successful is their behavior. That's where you can help. Could you give us an example?
Well, you know, I don't think people have kind of shaken off 2008 yet. So let's imagine this for a moment, okay? Canadian stocks, even some of the bank stocks, went down as much as 40% in 2008. How much do you need to make to break even? You've got to make 67% just to get back to even.
Wow.
In the period of 1985 to 2005, according to the Dalbar Quantitative Analysis of Investor Behavior Study, wow, that's quite a mouthful.
It was.
The average U.S. mutual fund had an average rate of return of over 11%. Yet the average investor only made 3%. So what happened? It was behavior. They bought high and they sold low. It's all about behavior. Now, additionally, investment time horizons don't match goals. The study also suggests investors are unlikely to stick with the strategy longer than 4 to 5 years. For most investors, financial risk is singularly defined as the possibility of not reaching financial goals. As such, the sole objective of investing is to minimize this risk.
When it comes to managing investment emotions, why is it better to work with an advisor rather than go it alone or try to do it by yourself?
It's really hard to be accountable to yourself. I think one of the reasons we're often challenged when we measure success is when we discuss investment goals and the importance of investing to achieve them is that we focus on amounts that we've made rather than how close or how far we are from achieving the goal. In talking about investment goals, I think investors need an advisor who can explain how they will help them keep invested in strategies even when their portfolios seem to be suffering market dips. Advisors are often called upon to be an anchor in times of crises. Having these discussions before periods of volatility can help you figure out how you're going to react to certain outcomes and how you're hardwired. Knowing how you make your investment decisions sometimes it's as important as what investment decisions you actually choose.
So what steps can you actually take to increase confidence and the likelihood of success? Is there a pattern here? Or?
One way that we can help is to explore a person's vision and ask them to describe it. What does it look like in 1, 3, 5, or 15 years? The more detail, the better. I don't want just a rough framework. In Technicolor would be nice. If you can imagine it, chances are you're going to be much more successful at planning for it. From there, we want to consider additional aspects of their financial pictures, like timelines and the hows and whys, as well as what things might limit their ability to achieve them.
We keep coming back to this. So what do you say to those people who say that they can't save because they have to pay down debt?
We're hearing more of this. It really comes down to choices. And does it fit into your budget? People still want to spend more time planning their next vacation instead of how they're going to spend a lifetime of future vacations. If your focus is paying down debt, then chances are savings might not be a priority. Another great question is, when was the last time you were out of debt, excluding your mortgage? If it has been quite a while since you've been debt-free, it could be a good time to reassess your priorities. Reducing the use of credit or cutting back takes effort. Working closely with a financial planner can help you keep on track. For most successful investors, managing the use of credit is an essential skill to master.
So, Jim, how do you deal with the question of should people pay off debt before they start saving?
That's a really important question that I think a lot of people wrestle with, and it depends on your priorities. Many years ago when I was in the lending industry, I'd see people who wanted to pay off their biggest payments first because they felt it would have the biggest positive impact on their cash flow. Truth is, one of the biggest impacts can come from paying off the most expensive debt first and then the next one, and so on. On the savings side, establishing an emergency fund should come first. When unexpected emergencies arise, that's what it's for. The difficulty comes when you have to replenish the account. A lack of savings or emergency funds can keep you tied into a vicious credit cycle. So as a general rule of thumb, keeping between 2 to 3 times your average monthly expenses makes sense, and up to 6 months of expenses for those who are self-employed. I had a number of families tell me that this was a great exercise, and they were surprised at the figures. When figuring out what your average monthly expenses were, they were spending different than they thought. It allowed them to reconsider their financial priorities.
Sounds like a great goal to make, if you haven't done it yet this year, is set yourself up with an emergency fund. It does sound like you need a lot of great people to help implement your plan and ensure that you stay on track. You're listening to Boomer Life on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton. Today we're speaking with Jim Doyle, Senior Financial Consultant with Investors Group. Financial security is a paramount goal for most Canadians. The need for advice has never been greater. Consider working with an advisor to rediscover confidence in your financial future. Still, lots more to come with Jim Doyle, including some thoughts when it comes to retirement planning and avoiding some of the mistakes that even smart couples make. That's coming up next on Boomer Life on CL 650. And for more information and to get to know Jim Doyle a little bit better, simply go to jimdoyle.ca online or give him a call toll-free, 1-800-665-7178, or locally at 604-682-5431.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.